Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another video. Total Extreme Wrestling. We are on the 2020 series and we've just come off the back of Extreme Rules, one of the best pay-per-views, well the best pay-per-view of the series so far, and I think it was a really good pay-per-view. It'll be underrated by the end of it. Of course, good matches throughout was really nice to see, and yeah, we ended with a little bit of, well, controversy I suppose. We have a new WWE champion and his name is AJ Styles. If you missed out on the pay-per-view, go back and watch that from Sunday and we start again. We're on the road to Summerslam now, the biggest party of the summer. Let's do it. Monday Night Raw opens up with a 63 segment. You kind of expect a little bit better, but AJ Styles is basking in the glory of winning the WWE Championship in the ring. He's got the title on his shoulder. He's celebrating and he talks about how he's the greatest WWE superstar in the whole company. He is the top man and he deserves this title belt. He starts talking about Drew McIntyre, saying how Drew had a good little title run, but now it's time that AJ Styles made this company phenomenal again. Drew, I'm sorry son, but get back down the card because you don't deserve to be the main event, the showstopper, as Shawn Michaels used to say, because AJ Styles is that man. He talks crap about Drew McIntyre and AJ ends up enraging the champion, who was already pissed off. He'd lost the title. It may have been fair in terms of the money in the bank, but for a champion it's so frustrating to lose that way after going through an Extreme Rules matchup, defeating Randy Orton, and unfortunately AJ was there to cash in. So Drew comes sprinting down, no mic, he's not here to talk, he's here to fight. AJ sees it coming, makes an escape through the crowd, he's not having any of it. We then go backstage, but AJ's backstage like searching for an exit. You can have Charlie Caruso go over and say, what's going on, where are you going? And AJ says, look, last night I had a hell of a match in a ladder match, I had a hell of a cash-in match, I think I deserve the night off to celebrate, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the night off. Drew McIntyre comes round the corner, as you can see, and AJ has to run to his car, a waiting car it seemed, and AJ gets away from the arena. AJ has left the arena. Drew McIntyre is frustrated. Drew McIntyre's got an opponent tonight, so he can't go anywhere. But AJ Styles is taking the night off. I should mention we are on the first sort of UK tour we've done in the series. We're in London, the O2 Arena in London tonight for Monday Night Raw. So Drew might be a bit of a home card hero, I suppose. 70 though for that one is much better. From there we go. Shayna Baszler was in action, defeating Natalya in just under 15 minutes. This is pretty good. Obviously you've got to remember, particularly with this game, once you go to a different country you've got to work with the popularities in that country, and it's a little bit lower than US, but that's okay. Shayna Baszler defeats Natalya with an armbar. 61 for Shayna, 54 for Natalya. Good solid matchup. Two good workers, good solid matchup. Shayna looking good again going into SummerSlam. Afterwards, she calls out Becky for a face-to-face. Becky ends up getting frustrated and, of course, a brawl breaks out. But Becky should not be brawling with Shayna. There's no one to split it up this time, not like last night. And Shayna destroys the champion for another 88 rated segment. Wow, these guys are killing it. Shayna absolutely destroys her, locks in the armbar herself on Becky. Becky's finishing move is an armbar too. Armbar v armbar it could be. And Becky is, well, she doesn't tap, but she's really hurt from the armbar. So 88, yeah, pretty good. Aleister Black was in action, defeating Jinder Mahal for 65. This is pretty good. Aleister Black, 66, was the man to hold it together. Jinder Mahal, 48. You're not going to get 70, 80 rated matches in the UK right now, but 65, pretty good. Well, I'll say you're not going to get 70. You might get 70, but you're not getting an 80, that's for sure. Anyway, Aleister Black gets a good victory after last night when he was sort of screwed out of the US title after Zelina Vega got involved. So he's back on a winning run against Jinder Mahal, and he gets on the mic afterwards. Rarely see him have a promo, but he has a promo here, and he did well off script, which is good, a 65 rated promo. And he says, look, Andrade, last night you used your abilities of having a team to get past me, and I get that. But the thing is, we all know that I'm not done with you. We all know that I am better than you. But I say one thing, SummerSlam, 1-on-1, United States Championship in the middle. And I say we do this in a steel Page. Aleister Black has put the challenge out to Andrade. Let's see what happens from here. Becky Lynch is being looked at by a doctor and cuts a promo on Shayna saying that, well done Shayna, you know what, I get it, you are a monster, but at WrestleMania you couldn't beat the man. At SummerSlam you won't beat the man. And Becky Lynch says, don't worry, she will recover from this and cause more pain than Shayna could ever think about to the former MMA fighter. 74 for a really good segment and a good backstage promo from Becky Lynch. Tag team action here, and yeah, the Street Profits were taking on AOP here in a pretty good match actually, a 58, really quite good stuff. Let's talk about it then. So the Street Profits get the victory, and that's surprising to a few. I'm sure AOP have recently come back from injury and looked strong since then. But Montez Ford gets the victory over Aiken with a frog splash following botched interference from Murphy. So of course Murphy and Shelton Benjamin are out there helping their disciples, sort of stablemates, and yeah, Murphy tries to help, ends up getting in the way, and Street Profits defeat AOP. A big win for the former tag team champions. And then it's announced next week they are going to get their opportunity again. The Street Profits will take on the Disciples in a tag team title matchup. Which one of these two teams will walk away from Raw next week with the championships? And of course, don't forget the Viking Raiders and AOP are also mulling around in this tag team division. Will be interesting to see what happens next week. Kevin Owens comes out for a promo talking about last night and losing the ladder match, talking about now AJ Styles is the WWE champion, how everything has changed just like that. And now Kevin Owens is sat here wondering what's next for Kevin Owens. What is next for KO? And out comes Randy Orton, interestingly. Orton, of course, lost the Extreme Rules matchup last night to Drew McIntyre, and Orton is fed up of Owens whining, and he says, look Kevin, you could be a star. You have everything it takes. You're good on the mic, you're good in the ring, you've got everything it takes to be the star. Orton says, you've been NXT champion, you've been Universal champion, but well, what happened to that title reign you got involved in with a washed up rock star and a balding biker who can't help but headbutt doors? Is that what you want to be known for? Owens, of course, doesn't take this lying down. He's a fighter. He's got this stone cold character going on, so he sort of says, of course, he invites Orton into the ring for a fight. Orton actually takes him up on it, and they enter the ring. They start brawling, and Randy Orton gets on top. Owens goes for the stunner. Orton counters RKO, and Kevin Owens is laid out by Randy Orton. Just to give Orton a bit of heat back from last night, losing the Extreme Rules match. Kevin Owens needs to be built up a bit more, and I'm hoping a feud with a 15-time world champion might just do the trick. So Orton leaves Owens laying out, and well, the reason he'd come out is because he actually had a matchup and won against Humberto Carrillo. 68 is pretty good here. Like I say, we're in the UK, so Orton would usually get a 76, 77, 72 today is pretty good because he's still one of the more established stars. So putting him in action tonight makes a lot of sense. They had 12 minutes, put a good match together. Orton has beaten a lot of the faces on Raw, but it's still a good match, so it is what it is. You can get through it and it won't be too bad. Orton and Owens then starting up. It's going to be interesting. We have a lot of storylines, and obviously SummerSlam coming up. Whether we get to fit them all on SummerSlam remains to be seen. Up next, a cutting edge segment. Edge makes his return to the WWE. Of course, he beat Randy Orton in I think it was a last man standing match at WrestleMania, and Edge comes out with the mic and says, so it's been a while, but there is a reason I've asked for this time. There is a reason I have asked for this segment, this cutting edge show to return with a mystery guest. I say mystery guest, even the guest doesn't know he's going to be the guest. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about the fact that while I was gone with a retirement, an injury, a potential paralysing injury, if I would have taken one bad move to the neck, I could have been paralysed for life. Now, during this time, I made returns. I managed to come back, and there was one particular return that still to this day unsettles me. It's still, it just lights something inside that makes me want to burn the world. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about Seth Rollins. Edge shows the clip on the Titantron of the well, it would have been the end of 2014. Seth, hitting the stomp on Edge to bring back the authority against Cena. It's something I want to call back to and kick off something here. So Edge calls out Seth for that. And then he also says, I've been watching over the last few months, and let's talk about last night, what this man did to Rey Mysterio. Rey didn't deserve that. Rey didn't deserve the beating that Seth Rollins gave him, the near retirement that Seth Rollins has gave him. Rey's not here tonight. Rey is not fit. Rey is not ready to go. I don't know when he'll be back, but I do know one thing: he didn't deserve it. So Seth, why don't you come out here right now, and I can put a stop to you and your madness. Seth comes out. He's looking cocky. He sort of saunters down to the ring. He's more confident than ever, Seth Rollins, after defeating Rey Mysterio last night. And he tries to get in the ring before he even gets sort of settled into the ring. 1 foot over, another foot over, spear. Edge takes him immediately out with a spear. Murphy comes into the ring, spear. Akam comes into the ring, spear. Shelton, spear. Razor, spear. Edge has laid out the entire lot of the disciples, and it's a spear-a-thon to really get the crowd going as well. And then Edge just gets back on the mic, leans over the prone Seth Rollins and says, "See you at SummerSlam." And that's it. That is the whole segment right there. A 61. You kind of expect better, particularly with Edge and Seth in there. But Edge is back. And Edge has put out the challenge for Seth Rollins at SummerSlam. I say he's put out the challenge. In fact, he's already spoken to the McMahons. And it's already been arranged and announced. We can confirm it. There is your graphic. It is set. At SummerSlam, Edge will return, and Edge will take on the Monday Night Messiah, Seth Rollins. A rivalry years in the making. Edge has been torn up over Seth Rollins' actions, and he looks to put an end to the disciples at SummerSlam. Next up, best match of the night right here. Andrade, the US champion, was in action, defeating Cedric Alexander in a good amount of time, 90 minutes they got, and this one was for the United States Championship. Andrade, after the victory last night, is cockier than ever, and on his way to the ring he says, well, I will put the title on the line right now for a show. For these people, these ingrates from Britain, they will get a show from the ultimate United States champion. Cedric absolutely takes it to Andrade, but in the end, the US champion does enough. A 67 performance from Andrade, 53 from Cedric, and a 70 rated segment is really good. I wonder what boosted it. High title prestige. We've done a lot of good work with the US title lately, and it's helped Andrade in particular. A good win for Andrade. Afterwards, he gets on the mic and he says, Aleister, no, I don't accept your challenge. Aleister, you're back of the line now, mate. Look, Cedric, back of the line as well, but Aleister, you've had your chance. You lost out last night. The ultimate US champion does not give out freebies. It just does not happen, and the lights go out. Aleister Black has recently been doing this. Andrade is expecting a bloodbath. The lights come back on. There is no blood on Andrade. His United States Championship is still with him. But Zelina Vega is gone. Zelina Vega has disappeared. And Andrade is freaking out. What has happened to Zelina Vega in the darkness, and where is she? Well, we'll have to pick up with that next week. That segment, though, gets us a 60, which is pretty good. Zelina Vega did okay. Obviously, she's pop isn't very great, but we ain't got to worry about it for too much longer. Andrade and Aleister Black are killing it right now, to be fair. 6-woman tag here. Bianca, Belair and the Kabuki Warriors defeat Charlotte Flair and the Iconics. So Charlotte taking a loss here, but not taking the pin to protect her, which kind of makes a lot of sense. It is Asuka who gets the victory over Billie Kay. Kairi Sane 55, Asuka 72, Bianca 46. Billie Kay 45, Peyton 45, and Charlotte Flair 65. So those are the two, Charlotte and Asuka, that are the two best. Kairi did quite well. Bianca needs a bit of improvement, but we are trying to build her up, and another victory for her here. Just a good Raw match to get them on the card, so that's pretty good. Before the main event, though, Drew McIntyre. Oh, Kairi's saying nearly injured Peyton, so that's good. For the main event, Drew McIntyre cuts a very good promo on AJ Styles, vowing vengeance and saying he wants this. He wants this, AJ. He wants the rematch, and he wants to do it on the biggest stage at Summerslam. So don't you think you are done with the Scottish psychopath, because his title will return home. And Drew McIntyre, the hometown hero, so to speak. We're in the UK. It's not in Glasgow or nothing, but hopefully the English fans will get behind him too. 72 for the segment, and Drew's in action against Bobby Lashley. A Backlash rematch. It's Drew and Bobby in the main event of Raw tonight, and it gets us a 78. Wow. Drew has killed this. An 83 performance from Drew, and he was off his game. Great chemistry between the two, which helped us. A really good main event for Raw. Drew back on a winning way against a tough opponent. Got 15 minutes, and they killed it. They killed it. Drew McIntyre wins. Afterwards, Drew is celebrating, and then in the ring, trying a sneak attack, is AJ Styles. He didn't go home or didn't leave to go back to the hotel. He is here at the O2 Arena, and AJ is trying to sneak attack on the former champion. Drew, though, sees it coming and nails the Claymore kick. AJ Styles' first night on Raw as WWE champion has not gone to plan. An 82 rate segment, by the way. Well done, boys. Good end to the show. Drew McIntyre has got his eyes set on winning back his title, and he wants that match at SummerSlam. Not officially confirmed. We'll do that next week, but you can see where we're heading. A good show then. A good show. A 79 rated Raw. Really, really good. That's probably our best Raw so far. Helped by the big main event. Everything else was pretty good though. Really good. Angle with Becky and Shayna was the best thing on the card, by the way. That 88 again. They are killing it. Okay, then we're on to main event now. We're going to stay in the UK. I think we're in Wolverhampton for this one. Smaller venue, ironically. I wonder if WWE would ever do that rather than just... I suppose it's the double taping, but we've gone for a smaller venue to try and pack out the audience. And let's see how this works. The Forgotten Sons are in action, first of all, against R-Truth, Titus O'Neil, and Akira Tozawa. Pretty good match here, 45, actually. Really quite some good stuff. Titus and R-Truth were quite good. Akira quite good. And Forgotten Sons are improving. Jackson Riker, 52, the best of the lot. Good win again for the heel stable, and Jackson Riker getting the pin on Titus O'Neil. Pretty good. Pretty damn good. Great promo here from AJ Styles, cutting a promo on Drew McIntyre. AJ talking about how Drew ruined his celebration, ruined his celebratory night in his home country, so to speak, or his home area, or whatever you want to call this godforsaken place. AJ Styles can't wait to get out of here. Tonight he will be done with the UK, but not before the main event. The WWE Champion will be in action against Tyler Bate. Why not? Let's try it. Let's see what happens. AJ Styles, good promo though, for 74. Liv Morgan defeated Ruby Riott for 40. Pretty good stuff. Paige was good work at ringside, 38 and 37. Makes, pretty good match for main event. Liv Morgan getting another victory. We are going to try and build her up as much as possible. She gets another victory here on main event. Seth Rollins got a 71 rated promo on Edge, talking about how Edge has bitten off more than he can chew. Edge has made a really stupid decision, calling out Seth and putting that match on for SummerSlam, because at SummerSlam Seth Rollins will finally paralyze Edge. He promises to break his neck. 71. Wowzers. Not quite as good, but still pretty good. Andrade cuts a promo on Aleister Black. Ignore the fact that Zelina Vegas is apparently there. She's not. Andrade is desperate to know what's happened to Zelina Vega. He's desperate to know what the hell Aleister Black has done. And he says to Black, you better not have hurt her, and on Raw, I better have her by my side again. 69 ahead then of the main event. AJ Styles versus Tyler Bate in Wolverhampton, England. This could be bizarre, but really cool. AJ Styles versus Tyler Bate gives us a 66. Okay, that wasn't expected. AJ against these... What have I done? What have I done there? No wonder AJ underperformed. Okay, Tyler Bates defeated AJ. Oh, what have I done? That is so stupid. So stupid. Anyway, you can play it off as a fluke. You can play it off as a fluke. 66. I've got to check if that's going to affect his popularity too much. I really hope not. I really hope not. I mean, we had 3 promos in there, so do 147. That's really harsh as well. Luckily, it was only on main event, so I'm hoping it won't affect it too much. AJ's at a 70, well, he's at a low 70. I think that's going to have affected him. No, not really, actually. Not really. Hopefully not. What about Tyler Bate? That's got to have helped Tyler Bate, surely. Surely that's helped Tyler Bate. It might work out fantastically. I mean, we should have looked in England, really. Still on 63. Nobody watches main event. It's fine. Okay, NXT, and we're on the road to TakeOver 30, which will be the same weekend as SummerSlam. I think actually I'm going to do a joint pay-per-view episode. We'll do TakeOver 30, and then we'll do SummerSlam. It may be a long one. We'll see what happens, but I think that's probably the better way to do it. Let's do this then. NXT. And we've got some big matches planned tonight, of course. Teagan Nox and Eoshirai. That's going to be kicking off the show. You've got Cameron Grimes in there with KUSHIDA for a shot at Johnny Gargano's North American Championship. And, of course, the main event will be Finn Balor against Pete Dunne. Let's do this. As I say, we opened up with Teagan and Eoshirai, and it was okay, 62. Eoshirai really is the one that carries this, but we're going to use her to put Teagan over, is the idea. 47 for Teagan is okay, Eoshirai 62. Didn't click, no chemistry, which is a bit of a shame. But Teagan Nox wins. A really impressive victory for Teagan Nox against Eoshirai. Of course, the current NXT Women's Champion in real life. Teagan is, well, yeah, it's going to be very interesting. Teagan gets a good victory here. Afterwards, she calls out Dakota Kai and says, did you see what I just did? You see the role I'm on. I can beat you. I know I can beat you. I said it before and I didn't get the job done, but I know I can beat you when that championship's on the line. Dakota Kai doesn't want anything to do with it, but William Regal comes out and makes the matchup a 57 rated segment. William Regal wants to see it. He says he wants to see it. Teagan Nox and Dakota Kai. He wants to see that at NXT TakeOver 30. He says Teagan's deserved a shot for a while, and Dakota Kai will have to deal with it. Dakota Kai struggled off script. Teagan did well. William Regal, of course, did well off script. 57. And there's the graphic. NXT TakeOver 30 for the Women's Championship. 2 former best friends. Team Kick will explode. It's Teagan Nox versus Dakota Kai for the NXT Women's Championship. I may put a gimmick on that. I'm not quite sure at the moment. I'm not sure what it'll be, but I'm thinking about a gimmick for that. KUSHIDA cut a promo on Johnny Gargano for 55, talking about the fact that Gargano used to be someone everyone could look up to on NXT. But since winning the NXT North American Championship, all he's done is degrade that title, and KUSHIDA wants to bring back the good times to the fans. 55 is okay. Timothy Thatcher will make his NXT debut next against Jake Atlas, and dominated him for a 17. Weesh. Right, Timothy put in an in-ring performance of 44, which is good. Jake Atlas 37, which isn't bad. But a 17 rate segment is a little bit harsh. Match outside the pre-show between workers they don't have investment in, sure, but I've got to... It's the only way you can use people. You can't just boost people. Although I feel like Timothy Thatcher's popularity is ridiculously low. That's what brought it down. Whatever, we'll deal with it. Breezango cut a promo on Grizzled Young Veteran for 60. Tyler Breeze could have done better without a script, which is a bit of a shame. Talking about the fact that they want a shot in NXT Tag Team titles. They've said it a few times, and they listened to Grizzled Young Veteran last week saying they're not going to accept because Breezango are a joke. Well, we'll see who the joke is, won't we? Angle backstage here as Finn Balor enters the office of William Regal ahead of tonight's main event against Pete Dunne, and he says, listen, I get that it's a star matchup. You put the Prince in the main event, no problem. And you know what? I'm looking forward to ending that little pipsqueak, the Broserweight. The man who thinks he's all about British wrestling, but I was British wrestling before Pete Dunne was even a wrestler. I'm not even accepting that. So, Regal, you and I know. You and I are British wrestling legends. So I think you could do me this one favour. How's about this? I will have a classic match with Pete Dunne tonight. I will have a classic. I'll put on a Prince Balor classic. But I can't do that if Matt Riddle's at ringside because he wants a piece of me, and I get that. So I say, Regal, he shouldn't be at ringside. Regal agrees, says, you're right. I want to see a great matchup between two of NXT's brightest stars. I want to see that matchup. Matt Riddle is banned from ringside tonight. The NXT Tag Team Champions were in action, defeating Bronson Reed and Joaquin Wilde. Good long matchup here, 62 is what it got. Very good match actually, 66 from Gibson was the best. Bronson was the weakest with a 38, 57 for Joaquin Wilde and 52 for James Drake. A good win for the NXT Tag Team Champions. That was a good win, but the post-match segment didn't go their way. When out come Breezango, and they want to prove they're not a joke, so they attack the current tag team champions and leave them laying. A good segment and a good win in the segment for Tyler Breeze and Fandango there, and starting to get on the nerves of the grizzled young veteran. Take a look at this tag match for next week. Keith Lee will be in action against Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish, but who will be his partner? A mystery partner. Keith Lee and a mystery partner against the Undisputed Era next week here on NXT. That's not all though, as it is announced next week the NXT champion will also be in action. Adam Cole takes on the mighty tall man, Dominik Dijakovic. Adam Cole and Keith Lee both appearing in the ring on the same night. Ahead of this announced matchup at NXT TakeOver 30, the NXT Championship will be on the line. Adam Cole taking on Keith Lee. This should be well, I'm hoping it'll be fantastic, to be honest. Adam Cole, Keith Lee, NXT Championship on the line at TakeOver 30. In a match for the number one contendership for the North American Championship, KUSHIDA defeats Cameron Grimes in about 15 minutes with a KUSHIDA lock. 68. Good matchup here. KUSHIDA 63, Cameron Grimes 60, and KUSHIDA has booked his place against Gargano, but before he has a chance to celebrate, out comes Johnny Gargano with a steel chair. 65 rated segment. Gargano destroys KUSHIDA with a chair. Not happy with what he's been saying about the current North American champion, and Gargano gets the upper hand heading into TakeOver 30 when it will be KUSHIDA taking on Johnny Gargano with the North American Championship on the line. Two fantastic workers will hopefully put on a TakeOver classic. It's Johnny Takeover, Johnny Gargano against KUSHIDA for the North American Championship. We go backstage to William Regal's office again, and Tommaso Ciampa enters with a crazed look on his face, and he says, listen, you know what I want. I want him. I want him at TakeOver, and I want it last man standing. Regal absolutely agrees. He wants to see it. It's agreed. It's announced. Ciampa and Karrion Kross in a last man standing match at TakeOver 30. We are bringing the card tonight for that pay-per-view. Really good. Matt Riddle psychs Pete Dunne up ahead of the main event. Riddle struggled a little bit for a 63 segment. It's okay, but could have been better. Riddle says, look, I'll be watching backstage, but you've got this, Pete. You've got this. You're the broserweight. He is nothing. You have got this tonight. Ahead of the main event, but before we get there, Pete Dunne makes his entrance when he's attacked from behind by Finn Balor before the matchup. Balor attacking Pete Dunne and throwing him around ringside into the steps, into the hard part of the ring, into the sort of barricade area. Balor didn't even want this match, you can see, as he wanted to take Dunne out pre-match, but it doesn't happen. Dunne gets in the ring. He may be hurt, but he's a battler, he's a fighter, and he will take on Finn Balor tonight. Now, Balor and Pete Dunne in the main event of NXT gets us a 76. Wow. Really, really good, especially with a false finish. As you can see, Pete Dunne defeats Finn Balor when Balor intentionally got disqualified. So Balor had already beaten up Dunne pre-match. He thought this would be quite an easy win. It proves not to be. Dunne wouldn't give up. He just couldn't put him away, Balor. Could not put him away. And in the end, he gets a chair from ringside and purposely hits the chair shot, because all he wants to do is take out Pete Dunne. That's the main thing. Balor 71, Dunne 66. A 76 rated matchup. These two have killed it. I wonder what's sort of helped it so much, because it's been a big boost. Just really good road work. Hot crowd. Really good. Really, really good. After the match, Balor continues to lay in the chair shots and hits the concerto on Pete Dunne, a 69 rated segment. Riddle runs him off, but he's a little bit too late. Pete Dunne is nailed and laid out by Finn Balor to end the show, which gives us a 67 rated NXT. Pretty solid stuff, and you can see the NXT TakeOver card from here, can't you? Of course, we got the NXT Championship on the line. Adam Cole versus Keith Lee, a last man standing match with Ciampa and Karrion Kross. You got Gargano and Kushida. You've got Teagan and Dakota, and you can see 2 other matches coming. That'll be the tag team title match, and maybe Finn Balor versus Matt Riddle. Should be good. 67 gives us a good NXT. Okay, NXT UK then, and we already have an announced main event for the NXT UK Tag Team Championships. It's the Black Country Boys, Dave Mastiff and Trent Seven, against Wolfgang, and Mark Coffey. That is Gallus. Let's see what happens there. We open up though with a lady who debuted last week with an attack on the current women's champion Martina. She's in action against Sadie Gibbs, also making her debut on NXT UK. It gets us a 27, which is okay, not too bad. Sadie Gibbs did really well. 27 for her, 28 for Martina. They're about a 20 pop, so that's, you know what, pretty damn good, and a decent start to the show. It's NXT UK. Remember, if that was Raw, I'd be like, what? But NXT UK, I'll take it. Afterwards, Martina gets on the mic and brags about her beatdown of the NXT UK Women's Champion last week, which brings Kaylee Ray out for a brawl. Martina needs to be scripted, which is a bit of a shame. Or, well, at least tonight she didn't do well on the script without a script. But a big brawl between the two for 33, building up a title match between the two, perhaps down the line. Chris Brooks got a promo on Tyler Bate for 54, pretty good here, talking about how Bate will pay for the attack last week when Tyler Bate left him laying with the Tyler Driver 97. These two are far from done with each other. The Ojmo was in action for a match that actually wasn't that good against Noam Dar, so a really good victory for the Ojmo. 44 from him, Noam Dar 38, but a 37 overall, both men off their game, which is a bit of a shame, but a good win for the Ojmo, getting some more popularity to him, defeating a sort of former main roster star, so that's really good. Gallus got a promo on the Black Country Boys for 31, both struggled without a script. Brilliant. Cheers, guys. Cheers. Ahead of the main event, when they take on the current tag team champions for the belts, the winners, and still tag team champions in NXT UK anyway, the Black Country Boys. Dave Mastiff gets the victory, defeating Wolfgang with a cannonball and the pin, and their first defense of the titles, which is interesting. They've had them for a little while, but first defense of the titles. Trent Seven carried it, of course, with a 67. Really good from him. 31 from Dave. 41 and 35. For the heels, Dave Mastiff was off his game, but a 51 end it's solid for NXT UK. Afterwards, though, the champions are attacked by Eddie Dennis and Joe Hendry, who want their shot, and they leave the champions lane for 41. So that gives us a 47 NXT. I will take that. Okay, then Smackdown to end the week, and hopefully we'll build things up towards SummerSlam in a pretty cool way. Of course, at Extreme Rules, we have a new SmackDown Women's Champion. Sasha Banks has taken the title from Bayley in an elimination triple threat match. Ember Moon was also involved in the matchup. Bayley was eliminated by Ember, and then Sasha pinned Ember to win the championship. Tonight, well, we're going to have a celebration, a championship celebration for Sasha Banks. We open up though with Sami Zayn making his way out to the ring for the opening contest. He cuts a promo on Kofi Kingston though and says, look, Kofi Kingston is exactly what New Day have always been, sore losers. At Extreme Rules, I defeated Big E fair and square. And you know what? Kofi Kingston couldn't handle it and had to hit the Trouble in Paradise afterwards. But you know what? Hit the Trouble in Paradise, because I am Intercontinental Champion still, and you can't stop me. 69 for the promo, ahead of a 6-man tag. Now it's the Artist Collective against Chad Gable, Shorty G, Jeff Hardy, and Elias is going to be. So let's give this a go. 6-man tag for 69, pretty good. Now, we've got a lot to talk about here. There's going to be something that may shock a few, but the Artist Collective get the victory. Sami Zayn pinning Elias with a Helluva Kick. Cesaro 67, Zayn 69, 74 for Nakamura, 59 from Shorty G, 63 from Jeff, and 61 from Elias. Now, it hurts me that Nakamura is the best performer, because this is his final appearance with the company. Yep. I'm annoyed about it too. He's going back to Japan. His contract ran out. I couldn't get him to sign another one. He's going back to Japan. This is his last appearance. That is annoying because the Artist Collective a good heel group on SmackDown. Do I add someone else to them? Perhaps I could. And actually, I do have an idea which could work. But for now, that's where we're going. Annoying. Bayley's backstage and asked about losing the title at Extreme Rules. She said, no, don't worry about that. Let's talk about the fact that the new women's champion is my best friend, Sasha Banks. And tonight I'm going to show her how proud I am of her, how much she deserves this. I am going to throw her a celebration. That's right, I'm throwing the celebration. Bayley's promos for 51 is pretty good, ahead of a tag team matchup. Ricochet and Mustafa Ali against Lars Sullivan and Mojo Rawley for 56. Oh God, no. Mustafa Ali suffers an injury. Mustafa Ali suffers a chronic knee pain. That could be long term as well. I'm not even sure. Anyway, Ali 61, Ricochet 73 is really good. 48-51 for the heels. Yeah, standard TV tag match. Kind of expect a little bit better, but I suppose the injury has dragged it down. Annoying. After the match, Dolph and Robert Roode are not done with the babyfaces. Backstage heat on Mojo Rawley after pursing Mustafa Ali. Brilliant. Anyway, 55 for the post-match attack. They are not done with Ricochet and Ali. Firefly Funhouse time, and Bray Wyatt cut an 82 promo on Braun Strowman, and he reveals everything. Bray says, Braun, you've always been the chosen one. Ever since I brought you from that swamp, you have been the chosen one in my family, and all I've wanted to do is protect you. All he has wanted to do is protect you, and at Extreme Rules, that's all I was doing. I was there to help you. I was there to celebrate with you. You'd beaten 3 other men. I was there to celebrate, and you attacked him. You attacked the Fiend. You attacked him. He's angry. I'm angry. He's angry. And Braun, you're no longer the chosen one. You're the ungrateful one. You are not worthy. You are not grateful for my work. Everything I've done to get you to where you are. I took out Roman Reigns for you. You know what? At SummerSlam, he wants the belt back. 82, and a pretty good promo from Bray Wyatt. And putting the challenge out there. Fiend versus Strowman at SummerSlam is what Bray wants. Decent match here for the WWE Women's Tag Team titles. Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross defend against Dana Brooke and Naomi and do quite well for 63. Bliss was off a game, 62 from Nikki, 57 from Bliss, 55 from Naomi and 43 from Dana, which was the weak link. Just a win for the tag team champions. I really haven't used the tag belts at all. I thought make a good SmackDown match. Why not? There's no feud to it, just good wrestling on the TV show. Filled some time. Backstage, Big E is sat in a staircase. He's upset. He is very unhappy at what happened at Extreme Rules when he lost the match to Sami Zayn. He's down in the dumps. And Xavier Woods comes over, tries to help him and psych him up. And saying, look, things will be fine. You'll get another chance and you'll win because you're that damn good. Big E getting a bit of a pep talk from Xavier Woods. No Kofi to be found though, 64 for that. No Kofi to be found as he is cutting a promo on Sami Zayn. He's got an interview, a 72 promo, talking about Zayn's comments earlier in the nights and saying, you know what? Somebody needs to shut you up. And at SummerSlam, I will be the man to do that. Kofi Kingston challenges Sami Zayn for the Intercontinental title at SummerSlam, the exact same time that Big E is very unhappy in a staircase. So 72 for the segment is, really quite good. Sheamus was in action, defeating Gran Metalik in 10 minutes or so for 66. 62 from Sheamus, 52 from Gran Metalik. Good match, good TV matchup again. No feud for this, but a good win for Sheamus. There is a feud for the next segment though. And it's time to celebrate a new SmackDown Women's Champion. Bayley comes out first. The ring is decked out in party style. There are pictures up of classic Boss and Hug Connection moments over the past few months. And Bayley gets on the mic and says, I am so pleased to announce, I'm so pleased to introduce to you the new SmackDown Women's Champion, the boss, the blueprint, the main event, Sasha Banks. Bayley brings out her best friend, who is pleased. She's got the title on her shoulder. She looks very, very, very happy. She gives Bayley a hug. And Bayley says, Sasha, you are incredible. You've deserved everything that you've got. You've deserved everything you've ever had coming to you. You really, really do. At Extreme Rules, well, yeah, I'm disappointed. I didn't win the match. Fine, I didn't win the match. But if there was anyone else that I wanted to win the match, it would have been you. It would have been you. You've been my best friend. You've been by my side the entire time. But I've got you a present. I've got you a present. Sasha's very, very pleased. She's like, right, okay. And Bayley gives Sasha a present. She opens it up and all we can see is a picture frame. But Sasha opens it and looks very, very confused. And Sasha turns the picture around to see it's a picture from their 2015 matchup where Bayley hit the belly to belly off the top. And it's that move that's pictured. Sasha's confused. And Bayley rushes in. Bayley attacks Sasha Banks, hits the Bayley to belly, and turns on her best friend, the new SmackDown Women's Champion, leaves her laying with the Bayley to belly, and leaves in a huff. Big segment here. A little bit like the Festival of Friendship with Jericho and Owens is what we're going for. Bayley has turned her back, though, on the new SmackDown Women's Champion. It gets us a 60, which is a little bit annoying, but we can officially do it. After 9 segments, she's going to be turned babyface. We are turning her babyface, which, I mean, extremely marketable gimmick, which will sell far more merchandise than usual, which is good. Rebel gimmick, it hasn't gone well, which is annoying. I'm thinking a Rebel could work well for Sasha, though, so we will give it some time. And the turn was a complete success, and Sasha Banks is babyface. Bayley has turned on her, and they're set for a showdown for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Backstage, The Miz and Daniel Bryan have bumped into each other and are arguing because they hate each other. The Miz mocks Bryan for not walking away with the Universal Championship on Sunday, saying, every time we see you lately, you're just losing. You lost to Sami Zayn, now you lost on Sunday. Is there a point in you even being here, Daniel? Anyway, you can watch tonight a winner when me and my best friend John Morrison, we win the match against Heavy Machinery and successfully defend these tag team championships. 68 for the backstage argument is pretty good. Braun Strowman was then cutting a promo on Bray Wyatt for 84. Really good promo from Braun, and he accepts the challenge. It's confirmed. It will be The Fiend versus the Monster at SummerSlam. Bray Wyatt against Braun Strowman. The Fiend against Strowman for the Universal Championship at SummerSlam, the match that we've been building to since the start of the save. Will it work? I'm hoping it will. Main event time then is Miz and Morrison against Heavy Machinery for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. A little bit of a weak main event this week, but it still gets us to 73, which is really, really good, and it's all about the Miz here. 76 from him. Morrison 65. Otis 68 is really good. 55 for Tucker is the worst, but it is what it is. And of course, Morrison pins Tucker, and Miz and Morrison retain the championships. Now, after the match is where it all gets interesting. Miz and Morrison start putting the boots to Heavy Machinery, are not pleased with just the win. They want to take Heavy Machinery out. And out comes Daniel Bryan to try and make the save. But of course, Miz and Morrison, there's 2 of them, there's 1 of Bryan. Not for long. Roman Reigns makes his entrance for the save. It's Reigns and Bryan who fight off Miz and Morrison for an 80 rated segment. And maybe, just maybe, it could be a big, big match at SummerSlam is what I'm thinking. Bryan and Reigns seem on the same page against the SmackDown Tag Team titles. That gives us a 76 rated SmackDown. Better than I thought it would be going in. I knew this week would be a little bit weaker. With that main event, we've had Sheamus Grand Metalik. We've had that tag match there. It's not been a week of big matches, a week of big promos, I guess, and the main event stuff has killed it. So well done to Miz and Morrison. Really, really good stuff. 76. Wow. That's it then, ladies and gentlemen. We are on the road to SummerSlam, so we are starting to build things up. You can see where we're heading. If you've liked the video, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel for more. Next week, well, we'll continue this. We'll continue this on. But we also have the NXT UK Championship on the line, so don't miss out on to that. Oh, until next time, peace.